As a business and mindset coach, I wanted to share with you the top 4 issues that I see when I work with business owners, entrepreneurs, and solopreneurs, and even online coaches. Just so that if you are starting it out in your business, you can take these top 4 issues that I'm about to share and see if you're doing it in your business, and then also implement the solution that I'm going to give you to go along with these. I'm Emily, and I'm here to inspire and empower you to become the best version of yourself in your life and in your business. Before I get into this video, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you have your notifications turned on, so each time I post into my community, you get that notification, because you never know what I'm going to post, a poll, or maybe it's just a topic of a discussion or some kind of wisdom from the business or mindset side. So to get into this video, there are a lot of different issues I see when I have clients come to me for business and mindset. And here recently, some of the most common themes is, one, they think they can do it on their own. They don't need a support system. They got this. And I get that. Like, I'm independent. I got this, right? Totally understand that. But it doesn't serve you. 2, they have a horrible relationship with money. And I am going to teach you how you can know if you have a horrible relationship with money. I was one of those horrible relationship with money, even though I was making money. And I'll talk about that too. 3, they don't have a business plan. They have no marketing plan. They have no sales plan. They're just winging things. They're just hoping that they get clients, hoping that they get business. There's no plan or strategy behind that. And that's a little scary coming from someone who's worked in business for over a decade, because you always have to have a plan, but at the same time, be adaptable to your plan. And the last one that I see a lot commonly is limiting beliefs. Underlying limiting beliefs that really keep them stuck where they are at, and they can't grow and expand because of it. So we're going to just start with the first one. The first one, thinking that you can do it solo. You can do it solo starting out, maybe until you need a team. But you have to understand, if you're going to grow and expand, you're going to have to understand when you need to hire, who you need to hire, and what is that person going to be doing as you hire them. And so many times I go into these businesses and I look at their processes and I audit their process and ask them, at what point are you going to hire? Well, I don't know. You should know that stuff as a business owner. Do you need a VA? Do you need a designer? Do you need branding? What do you need, and how are you going to get there? And what's your plan to get there? And a lot of times it's, well, I'm just going to do it on my own. You have to ask yourself as a business owner, for you to do it on your own, are you really making money by doing that? Or would it be better for you to start outsourcing things? Because at some point in time, by the time you learn what it is, it would have been cheaper for you to outsource it and actually have it done properly. And I know this because I've also seen this in my business where I didn't want to outsource it, but I got to a point where I'm like, you know what? By me sitting down and figuring this out for 5 hours, I could have paid someone to actually do it for me. So don't get into that mindset that you're going to do everything solo. And if you are not in business and you think you can grow your mindset, because that's another thing I coach a lot of people on, is healing and mindset, it is going to be very challenging to do that solo. And here's the thing, because when we are in it, we struggle to see the bigger picture. And so sometimes having that coach, having that mentor, having that support system so you don't have to do it solo can be so valuable, So that's the number one thing. Number 2 is not having a business plan, not having a marketing plan, not having a sales plan. These are very important, because you can sit here and say all day long, yes, I want to make $1 million, or I want to gross this much income. But if you don't have a plan to get there, along with actions and due dates to hold you accountable, you're not going to get there. So it's really important to understand what your business plan is. And I would highly recommend, if you have not done this yet, make a business plan for a year, and then 3 years, and then 5 years. This will really help you with a bigger vision. It will also help you to understand where you are at and where you need to go. And as you put dates for the first year and the actions you need to take to get there, then you'll understand at what point do you need to hire to expand and grow, at what point do you need branding, at what point do you need this support. You have all that in your plan. And you also will make sure that you're making enough money to actually pay that, because you can't bring in support if you're not making any money. Making money is the first thing. And then once you understand, hey, this is what my income is, these are the support systems that I'm going to bring in place. And for those that I coach that are just starting out in business, I make it very clear. You're not allowed to hire any resources until your business is making money. Very, very clear. Do not invest in all these resources until you're actually making money, unless it's going to make you a huge amount of money. Sometimes you had to spend money for marketing. Sometimes you have to spend money for coaching. I know that because I invested a ton in coaching and mentoring to get me to where I'm at right now. The horrible money relationship is my next topic. And this topic is huge because you have to understand your relationship that you have with money as a business owner. If you do not understand this and you have a horrible relationship with money and you know this, it's going to impact your business. And the way it impacts your business is you start coming from a place of scarcity. You start having this scarcity mindset. What if I don't get any more clients? Or what if I don't get any more business? And all this fear starts bottling up. And then all of a sudden you're creating stuff out of scarcity. And then that's the energy that you have, which is a horrible place to be in. And I know that as a coach who has coached others through this and who has also experienced this, you have to work with your relationship that you have with money to start with. That is like base foundational. That should be entrepreneurship 101 to actually start working on that relationship. And so many times people, and especially myself as well, have been raised with all these limiting beliefs around their money mindsets. Money is hard. I have to hustle hard to get all this money. All of these beliefs, or I'm going to make all this money and then I'm going to have to pay a ton of taxes. That's a common belief that I see a lot of people have. But you have to understand what your beliefs are and then how you can reprogram those to actually have a better money belief. And some tips around this, because I'm going to do a whole other video on money mindset, on how to improve your money mindset. But just a few tips for you to get started today. 1, understand your money story. 2, start learning about money, investment, and all these things. Start reading money books. Start doing that work now, because this will be very crucial for you to build your business. And even if you don't have a business and you're strictly watching this from a mindset perspective, you have to understand the way you were programmed, so that way you can unprogram that and program it the way you want. Because if you're not believing that you want to be a millionaire, why? Why aren't you believing that, right? So ask yourself those money questions. The other thing too that I see a lot, and it ties back to that money mindset, is when people say, well, I just want to serve people. I just want to show up and help people. Well, yeah, so do I. I want to serve and help people too. But at the same time, I want to make $1 million. So you have to understand that mentality. Don't get into this mindset that I can't make money and serve people, because you can do both. All the free content you make, the way that you show up for others, the way that you answer questions without charging them. There's tons of ways where you can serve clients and serve people and not charge. But there's also tons of ways where you can be charging your clients and be charging for your services and still serve. You're still making an impact. So don't let that mindset of I just want to serve people and I'm not worried about the money. Remember, you have bills to pay too. So that also needs to be taken and accountable for as your whole money plan and really work on that relationship that you have with money. So that way it doesn't hold you back in your business. The other point that I have is the limiting beliefs. We can go on and on about limiting beliefs. So many times we start this business, we have all these ideas, but then we limit ourselves. We limit ourselves to what we potentially could be doing. And I share this because it can be very challenging sometimes. We're in this box. We think this is the only service we're going to offer, but we don't ever look at expanding, or we don't ever look at growing that. We have a very limited, closed-minded mindset. And it's a common thing I see in a lot of my clients where they're very limited just to the service that they offer instead of expanding and seeing what can I add to what I currently have to expand and grow that. It's just like, no, we're just going to offer this. This is working, so we're just going to offer this. Yes, it may be working, but get out of your limited mindset that that's all that there is. You should have multiple streams of income and passive income at that. So how can you create passive income if you don't have passive income? And you also had to be very careful not to do what I did and was like, well, I want to do all the things and then try to do all the things and not be focused. That can also be a challenge. Even though it's not a limiting mindset, it's very all over the place. Would not recommend that. So once you get one service down that you have and it's selling and it's bringing in money, then you can look at expanding and growing and getting out of just this one service. And the other thing with limiting mindset is a lot of times we hold ourselves and we play small because we have this fear. We have this fear of failure, right? We think we're going to fail if we try to do something else. That is a very limited mindset. And we don't want to think outside of the box. We don't want to play the what if game. You know, what if I could offer this service? Instead, we play it in a negative way as what if I fail? So taking that what if and switching it from negative to positive will be really, really helpful in your business. So if you start launching a product and you're like, what if this fails? Ask yourself, what if you make $10,000 at it? Or what if you make $1 million at it? What if this is your stepping stone to your next thing? So don't get caught up in limiting yourself to the one thing and to all just what you think it should be. Sometimes people can have different ideas and they may work for you or they may not. The last one that I have to talk about is the business plan. So here's the thing. When you start a business, a lot of people don't want to think about having a business plan, having a 1 year, 3 year, or 5 year business plan. And when you don't have this, and you don't have a sales plan, you don't have a marketing plan or a strategy around how you're going to get there, it's going to take you longer to get there if you get there, if you don't burn out in the process. And so it's understanding, what do you want as a business owner and how are you going to get there? So I highly recommend using the strategy of working backwards. So looking at 1 year, what is it that you want? Mapping it from the end goal. So say you want 100,000 in sales, okay? And then how are you going to get there step by step by step? And putting these in like a spreadsheet, a Google sheet. You can use Smart Sheets I use Smart Sheets a lot with a lot of my clients. I also use Google Sheets. It's kind of upon preference. And with that, you ask yourself, what is each step that you have to do to lead to this goal? Do you need to launch 3 times a year? Do you need to launch once? Do you need to launch twice? How often do you need to launch your service? Do you need to have an open, closed door launch? Do you need to do a 14-day launch? All these things are very important in your business plan to understand where are you going. And then after you're, 6 months into your plan, or even 3 months, on a quarterly basis, evaluate that plan and ask yourself what needs to be changed. How do you need to change? How do you need to adapt these things? Because sometimes we can make this plan and something shifts. Maybe we make more money than what we had planned and now we're progressing faster, or maybe we didn't make quite as much as we had planned and now we need to reevaluate and readjust. It's all about being able to adapt on the plan that you have set. And a lot of times what I've also seen is some banks, if you go to loans for your business, some banks won't necessarily give you the money unless you have a business plan. Unless you can show them, I've mapped it all out, here's the plan, here's what I'm gonna do. Some banks won't give you that. Now others may, it kind of depends on what your loans are for, which I can talk more about that in another video. But making sure you have a business plan, and in that business plan, you should have a marketing strategy. You should have a sales strategy. You should be looking at your processes. What process do you need to put in place? Do you have an email campaign? Do you have a VA that's working for you? If so, have you documented what they need to be doing in your business? So that way, at the end of the day, you can build your business from a perspective of, I don't need to be there every step of the way for my business, because someone else can come in and look at these processes and procedures and actually run my business while I'm on vacation, right? So you want to set yourself up for that. And maybe it doesn't happen within the first year, but maybe it happens within year 2 or year 3, depending on how fast you're growing, that you can just walk away from your business for a couple of weeks to actually take vacation and not have to worry about logging in, fixing all the issues, doing all those things. And if you're a coach watching this, I would highly recommend using the strategy of launching 3 times a year, so that way you're giving yourself a break to recharge, create what you want to create, and also taking that time to rest and not to burn yourself out, because that's also a key in building your business. So kind of to recap the top 4 mistakes and how you can avoid them. 1 is making sure that you are not trying to do it solo. So look at your business, ask yourself, am I ready to hire? Do I need support? Do I need someone to come in and actually do like an overview of my business? One of the things I do with my clients when we first start working together, I look at your entire business and look at where can you get the biggest bang for your buck, and start right there. Start right there. Like that's where we're going to start. Where's the most inefficiencies at? And that's where we start working on to build a plan, because you can't always fix everything. So the doing solo part, look at your business, ask yourself, where's the inefficiencies out and how can you fix them? And who do you need for support to get them fixed if you can't fix them yourself? 2 is making sure you have that business plan. Take the time to map it out, whether it's 10, 15 minutes a day, whatever it is, take that time to really get clear on that business plan. That is very, very important, with task, with dates to hold yourself accountable. Because if you don't have that, no one is going to hold you accountable. You're the business owner. Unless you have a mentor or a coach holding you accountable, you have to hold yourself accountable. And then money mindset, get really clear on your money mindset, your relationship with money, so that way you know you have a good relationship with money and money just flows to you. Get into that mindset. That's the mindset you want to have. So look at your money story. And I'll do a more in-depth video on money mindset, how to improve your money mindset, especially from a business perspective and also from a personal perspective. And then the last one is, don't get into that limiting mindset and that closed mindset. You have unlimited potential. You have so much potential, and you have to understand that and embrace that and dream big, think big, and then plan off of that, because that is what's really going to propel you forward in your business and just in life in general. So I hope these tips were very helpful and you avoid these top 4 mistakes I see currently in a lot of businesses. If you have questions on business, or you are looking to work with a mentor or a coach, feel free to go to my website, emilyadams.net, fill out the contact form, and I will be in touch with you. And if you have any other questions, feel free to send me a message, and send this to someone that is a business owner or who is looking to start out with their business, and you know that they may have some of these mistakes already in their business, to help them get support.